Oh Lord, oh dear, the back, it's totally fucking gone, is it? Yeah, I have lumbago, so that's nice. Happy Sunday, everyone. I threw my fucking back out at the gym 3 days ago, and I've been walking around like this guy, Quasimodo, since then. So it's great. Really hurts, man. Really hurts. I'm 32 and I've been feeling like 75,000 years old all this week. But I think you should always try to see the bright side of things. And the bright side of this is this thing here. Fuck yeah, brother. And perfect view for you guys. So I've been in this room for way too long, man. I'm losing it. I got a standing desk, and I didn't have a back problem when it arrived, but I developed one 2 days after. So sometimes that has life has a way of just working out. I don't know if I should think about that in some way, if the universe is like punishing me, but it's nice. The top is the same I had as before, but the legs are new, and I love them. I have a little thing mounted here that has a display that says how high it is, which is really nice because I can be kind of consistent. And this allows me to stand up and work, which is really good because I sit like this. My posture is that of a Cheeto sometime, and hopefully this will help it. But yeah, killed my back at the gym, which was super upsetting. I've been very careful over the last few years. Not the last few years, that was a lie. Over the last few months, when training legs, I've tried to really, keep the weights down, keep the form really good, keep the pace low, and it's been good. It's been really working. But then this week I got tired of one of the exercises I was doing, and I thought maybe I should just hit up some deadlifts. Deadlifts has never been a good exercise for me, and it turns out it's still not a very good exercise for me. I put 50 kilos on there and just absolutely killed my back. And, it's that fucking thing when you do a movement and you know immediately that this is going to hurt for a while. But still, I did another 3 reps, which I shouldn't. And then I tried to just power through the rest of the workout. It hurt so bad, man. Then I got home, had a hot shower, lay down on the couch. Could not get up from the couch after 20 minutes. I was going to make food, and I was stuck in this position, and I was just it was pretty bad. And then the day after, I woke up here, my bed, where I sleep, where none of the action happens, by the way, and I couldn't get up. I was sat like this for 5 minutes because I couldn't straighten my back. So that was great. So I did a little bit of research, and it's actually quite interesting what happens when you get lumbago, or in Sweden we call this getting the literal translation is getting a back shot, which not that way though, more about getting a bullet in your back, which kind of is what it feels like actually. The nervous system, it knows that you fucked up, so it goes into crisis mode. It locks down the muscles and then puts all of the nerve fibers on high alert. So it feels much worse than it actually is. It's just that your muscles are doing this, it's clenching super hard just to keep you from doing more of those movements, which is it feels is dangerous. And so it's important that you try and move around and stretch it out, and that you don't lie down, which I did all day yesterday almost, and it felt horrible. So now I'm trying to stand, I'm trying to be active. Let's talk a little bit about this week. I think there's some things related to this back injury that I want to talk about, and then I actually want to get into a little bit of a demo of Aurelio because some things have happened which I would like to show. I think it's pretty cool. So I've been on a good pace the last few weeks. Felt really nice. And then getting up in the morning, working, starting some form of identity shift, where I've been feeling I'm just moving in the right direction towards a person that more fully aligns with my identity, like what I see up here. And then this thing happened, and like, if I'm being nice to myself, I didn't like crash out too hard, but I didn't handle it. I didn't handle it with as much equanimity as maybe I should have. Like, ideally, I would have liked to get hurt, say, this sucks, it is what it is, how do I go on from here? Felt the feeling, like felt the pain, felt the frustration, put that aside a little bit, or like just live with it and then go on. That's not really what I feel like I did. Instead, I was really frustrated, and then I had some pity for myself as well, and then I got like second order emotions out of my ass, got annoyed with myself for being annoyed and feeling pity, and felt like the reaction I had to this injury happening was not really the way I would have liked it. And so then all of this kind of amplified the feeling of not pain, but like stress, and I feel like I crashed out a little bit because of that in a way that I didn't really like. So it's tricky, man. I don't know if you're the kind of person that when you start going to the gym, you like want to go every day and just get it done. Have like 3 months where you just like check this box, like get fucking jacked, and then that's done. And it's easy for you to focus super hard on one thing and put aside a lot of other things. But then as soon as something happens, you fall off the wagon hard, and like you feel that if you break that spell or that habit or that streak once, then it's over for you. I'm a little bit like that, and I don't think that way with the gym anymore. I'm very happy to just have a plan and stick to it. The plan was not to destroy my back, but just to go 4 times a week. But right now, I've like been working a lot, and with working a lot comes like emotional investment into that work, and you are hoping for a payoff that's really far away. You're grinding away, nothing's really changing. And for me, that manifests in this like feeling of urgency and stress and a little bit of anxiety that I have to get things done right away, now. I just realized that I'm probably wearing the same shirt and the same hat I did last week. So it does describe my life right now. But that sense of urgency kind of clashed with like the pity I felt for my back, and like the need for, like, I couldn't sit here and work because I was in so much pain. And like, it was hard for me to just say, okay, this is something that happens. Let's take a day or two. Let's reset and, get back on that horse. I think I am back now. I got up at 6 this morning and started working immediately. But I feel super stressed. And I think that's also because I haven't dropped my microphone. I think the stress comes with like sitting still, being inside, not going to the gym, all of those basic things. Sleep is also a bit messed up because I've been waking up in the middle of the night when I like turn the wrong way. But all that manifests, and it's just a lot to deal with. I wanted to talk a little bit about that struggle because I've been thinking about it, and I've been thinking about how this feeling of not being good enough wants and should probably, well, should, I guess, is a different thing, but wants to manifest itself in action, in that you're doing. But when you stop doing and take a step back, it's very easy to feel even more not good enough, because you want to prove that you have the capacity, and when you start proving it, you feel guilty for everything that isn't doing the thing. So it's such a weird dichotomy of like, you're becoming better and you're going closer where you want to go, but then you hate yourself a little bit if you're not putting the foot down on the gas all the time, because the more you know, it's like going to the gym, right? You might one day when you start be very happy with just putting 50 kilos on the bench, but if you know that you can rep 70 for 10 reps, then those 50 kilos, they're not good enough anymore. And so if you do those, even if they're much better than what you used to do, you still feel a little bit bad, or you know that it's just not good enough because you're on this new level. And I think whatever you want to call it, self-development can be a little bit like that as well. You want to prove to yourself that you have a larger capacity, but in doing that, you raise the bar, right? And everything else becomes not good enough. So not sure what to do with all of these thoughts, not really sure what to do with these emotions, but I think no one's really watching this anyway, and talking about it like this actually helps in a weird way. So yeah, that's that. But we should also have a look at Aurelio, because this week I've been in like a couple of refactoring hells, it feels like. But now I'm at a point where much of the domain layer is finished. So I have like my data points, goals, items, streaks, the calculations, the dependency between them. It's all pretty much figured out. I've been doing some UI coding, and I have a very basic view that I want to show you. So I'm going to try and set this up and we'll get into it. Okay, so this is Aurelio. I have a first item set up here. I'm not going to go into too much detail because a lot of things will probably change, but I just wanted to show kind of a little bit of the progress and the shape this is taking. So what do I have here? The kind of card is an item. So most things in Aurelio is an item. A task is an item. A container like this can be an item, and so on. It's based as like the primary thing you interact with. And then you can connect that to metrics, which are just values you want to track. For example, you see that I'm tracking my mood and my sleep up here. So this is just a metric that that logs data points and keeps that data available. And then you can connect things to those metrics. So if you see the third section here is a goal that I've set to work out 4 times every week. And this is then connected to a metric for gym sessions. So this is the metric in the background. You can see some basic information and then the last data point. And the progress I've made this week towards this goal. This is test data. I have actually been to the gym 3 times. But yeah, that's how. So goals are set up towards a metric. Basically, what's the data set we are evaluating for this goal? And you can create them in a lot of different and kind of cool ways, I think. And I've set them up in a way I hope means that I can expand upon this much later. So then I have the next section. The next section is a list of various items. So I have a journaling item. I have a to-do here, which is a status, which is decluttering my apartment, which I have not done. So I should probably set this in to-do. And I can kind of drag these around as I want to as well. Then I have an item for practicing Italian and an item for gym session. And if we look at the gym session, you see that it says that this is connected to a metric and that some goal is tracking that metric, which is this goal up here. So these are connected. And this means that I've done it, but I can undo the last action or like the execution of this particular item. And if I stop doing that, then this goal, the progress for this week, is deleted basically. If I add that back in, we again see 25% up here. So this one is connected to the same metric as it is here. The Italian one is connected to a metric called Italian practice sessions, something like that just tracks every time you log like I've practiced Italian. So this, I have a streak connected. And you can see that I have 1 day in the streak and that I've actually completed 1 instance of it today. If I don't do this, it'll freeze like this. This is kind of the basis of Aurelio. So this is set up for like my particular use case I had in mind when I started thinking about Aurelio. Just like this rolling schedule of daily and weekly tasks, and then like tracking them towards metrics. You can see what you do and how much you do of it. You can set up goals, you can set up streaks, all of that. But I'm building this system to be quite flexible. So it doesn't have to be self-improvement. You don't have to have rolling schedules. You can just keep items and you can relate them to each other. These item types and the metrics they're connected to, the functionality that they have is also fully customizable. So I hope that in the future, someone who, for example, wants to have a little workspace for maybe their side hustle they're doing, or some project they're doing, or some specific piece of work in their life they're doing, can find a way to customize Aurelio to suit their needs, basically, and for it to be a space where you can come back and pick up where you last left, to record your thoughts, to record your progress, to track things. That's kind of the hope, at least. Right now, this is probably the best looking part of it. Setting all of this up is extremely user unfriendly because I haven't had time to... I mean, you don't want to spend time polishing a UI before you kind of know the structural boundaries of it. So this is probably what I'll work with going forward. There's some bugs I need to sort out, and then I'm going to start working with this daily to kind of find where it's missing functionality. And also just set up like a much more complicated use case for myself with more metrics, more schedules, more functionality, basically. Because I feel like the more I engage with the product, the more I find things that are missing, which is super cool. I think next time maybe we'll get into, we'll see what I get done over this week, and that's what I'll talk about next week. I think that's the way these vlogs will kind of work. But one thought I did have is that this is obviously just a view for, like, very adapted for a phone, this aspect ratio. But I mean, this is just an app, right? So it could be a canvas just like this. And then you can have, I'm building code right now for a user to be able to customize this. So maybe you want like a row here, a column here, different items, one item that's maybe just a dashboard where you track like, here's some metrics that I'm tracking in this space. So you can see like the progress, and then maybe another one that's just the goals. And then you could have like what I have here on my second window, which I've set up, which is just going to be a list of journal entries so that I can easily find notes I record, stuff like that. But then I also had a really cool idea, which I'm not sure if I'll be able to do. It sounds complicated, but really fun. So we will see. Basically, if you think about my item I had here in the middle, I have like a daily item that is interacting with like a metric of logging gym sessions over here and one of Italian. And these one in their turn are connected to like a streak and to like a goal. And if you expand the system, you would have like rolling, maybe you have like a scheduler that each month sets up like a monthly review ticket for you where you can like log your, like a bunch of things, right? Like whatever it is, like your net worth or your hours worked or your thoughts or your feelings, or do check-ins, whatever. And you could visualize this kind of like what Figma does, or like that really obscure view in Obsidian. That's just like the node view. Not quite that, but you could kind of think of it. It would be like a... I'm just thinking, like what I'm visioning is like the item here and then lines where it connects to other entities, and you could kind of see data going back and forth. I think, I don't even know if it would be practical, but it sounds fucking amazing to do this in order for you to visualize the work you're doing. Let's say you're on a self-improvement journey and you've set up a lot of goals and you want to log streaks and you want to log like a lot of metrics of like, how much am I reading? How much am I meditating? How often am I going to the gym? Am I drinking enough water? What's my calorie intake daily? Etc., etc. And you could have like graphs and charts and heat maps, and then you could have goal evaluation, streak evaluation, you could have items, all of these things, and they would be laid out in kind of like a web pattern and all connected to each other. And you could see like, here's a goal, and then here's the metric it's connected to, and there's a line of data going back and forth between them. I think that would be super cool. So I'll try to, I don't know honestly when that will happen, but I'm gonna try maybe next week to cheat out some time to see, like build an MVP for myself and just see how hard this is. So, like I'm programming in Flutter, and I don't think it's really done. It's not built for that, but I feel like I could still do it. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I think that's quite enough of the demo for this. I'm going to try and, like I said, set up something more ambitious, log more data, and not break everything this week. And then maybe next week we can go through like what I've done, how I've logged it, and my stats for the week or something like that. I think that would be cool. But yeah, thank you for watching, and stay safe, stay happy, stay motivated, stay dedicated. Don't do deadlifts incorrectly and destroy your back because it sucks. And if you have watched and you think this is super interesting, or you think this is fucking stupid, but you would like to, have any thoughts about it, leave a comment, would be very appreciated. You can send me an email, we can chat. If you're interested in using this in the future, I'm thinking about setting up like a closed beta that would be invite only for people that are autistic in the same way I am. And I mean, if that's interesting to you, just ping me and let's talk. Thank you.